It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Thank you very much for staying with your Feel Good Breakfast Show, Expresso, here on SABC3. Now, here's the thing. We've all experienced stress at one point or another in our lives. Some people suffering with stress more than others. But how does stress affect our immune system? Because it does. And what impact can this have on our overall health? Well, that's the question we're asking this morning. And we chat to clinical psychologist and life coach, Dr. D, on the impact stress has on our immune system. Dr. D, good morning. Thank you so much for your time.
Hi, it's Dr. D, and I love being with you on this show. Fabulous show, and you do so much good for everybody.
Oh, thank you, Dr. D, and thank you for saying that, because you know what, dealing with stress is just part of life at the moment, especially now during these uncertain times. What are some of the biggest causes of stress?
I would say the two biggest causes at the moment associated with the pandemic is that we don't know what the future looks like, and sometimes we don't even know when the future is. So dealing with that kind of unpredictability, inability to plan, the things that come with it. So stress is a normal reaction actually to a particularly crazy situation until it gets really out of control and unmanageable. And when it gets like that, out of control and unmanageable, it affects your functioning, affects your relationships, and it affects your ability to function at work and just your functioning in general. So lack of control of what's going on, and most particularly uncertainty about now and the future.
Dr. D, why is it then that some people can manage stress better than others?
Look, I think the most important thing is that if you don't own the story, you can't define the ending. So what does that mean? It means awareness is the first step to change. So what we have to do is recognize some of the symptoms of stress and put up a red flag when we feel, this is going on for too long and in too great a way. So extent and duration are important. What are some of the symptoms? Their physical symptoms, their psychological symptoms, their behavioral symptoms. Stress manifests in terms of certain emotion. Overwhelming sadness sometimes can be related to stress, extreme anxiety. And physiologically, you get a lower backache, migraine headaches, appetite problems, sleep disturbances, and behaviorally, irritation, low frustration tolerance, shortness of temper, overreactions to things that used to be able to cope with well before. Why do some people cope better, with your question, is that they recognize these symptoms earlier. And what you do is you have to face them. In order to tame them, you have to be able to name them. Instead of being able to say, what are the facts? I've coped with this before. What kind of support have I got in my life? How can I see the gap between the stimulus and response? What is causing me to feel like this? How do I stop? And how do I come back into the present? And sometimes in extreme circumstances, start panicking or developing panic attacks.
Sure. Wow.
Who knew that stress can really have that effect on you?
Yeah. And that there's so much you can do to sort of overcome it too.
And some things. Well, Dr. D, thank you for those wise words. And I think it's important to listen to those red flags that your body is giving you. So thank you so much for that amazing information. But now it's also time to hear from you. IMMUENZA is giving away some amazing experiences up to the value of 5,000 Rand each. That is from skydiving to personalized food experiences with a chef, advanced driving, or even shark cage diving. All you have to do is simply reply to the IMMUENZA competition post on the Expresso Facebook page or Twitter page and tell us, how do you manage stress? Make sure to use the hashtag IMMUENZA, and that competition closes the 17th of November at midnight, and those T's and C's can be found on expressoshow.com.
Looking for immune support? Remain at your peak all year round with IMMUENZA.